When we were putting the show together and we were talking about lunch, one of the first things that popped into my mind was a great club sandwich. I love, a good club. Go out for lunch and you get that great layered sandwich with turkey and ham and lettuce, tomato. Usually it's like a triple decker with a toothpick stuck in the middle. I'm just a big fan of the club. I really am. So I thought, how could I take that club sandwich and take it into another level and also make it nice and warm and toasty for when it's cold outside. So it's just, something a little bit more comforting. So here's what we came up with. This is the baked club sandwich. It's great because it actually serves a few people. So if you're having the ladies over for a lunch, you could make, if you're, just doing 3 or 4, this is going to be perfect. But if you're going to do more than that, you could make a couple of these. But it's got all those great flavors of the classic club. So we're starting out with basically some frozen bread dough that you can just buy it in the freezer section of the grocery store. It comes usually in a bag, and you let that thaw a little bit, and then we're going to just kind of roll it out into a large rectangle, which is what I have here. Now, instead of mayonnaise, I thought we'd use ranch dressing. Usually mayo is what's on the traditional club, but again, we're taking this up a notch. So I've just got some prepared ranch. I usually make my own with one of those dry packets with sour cream, a little bit of mayo and milk. So I'm just going to spread that over our bread dough. Speaking of the club sandwich, I hope you're going to join us at a wonderful golf club and restaurant for our big night out, which is coming up right around Valentine's Day. We're headed to Christopher's in Manitowoc, which is part of the Branch River Golf Course, and it is going to be one fantastic night. 5-course meal, all paired with wines. We're headed there Thursday, February 13th, so please come join us. It's filling up fast. The menu is spectacular. If you've been to one of our big night outs before, you know how great they are, so please come to this one. We've had our big night out a couple of times at Christopher's, and he just does a spectacular job. Really, really great. This one is going to have some of the courses there's several different courses, but one of the courses is a mahi-mahi. Another one of the courses is a steak. There's cheesecake, stuffed strawberries for dessert. It's just going to be really, really fantastic. But it's filling up fast. The cost is $60 per person, and that includes everything, the tax, the tips, the work, with 5 different wines paired with all the different courses. So really a killer deal. You can go to our website, fox11online.com, click on the Living tab and the Big Night Out box to get more information. But call today to reserve your spot, because this one's coming up pretty quickly. Just want to check on my baked club that I've got in the oven here. Ooh, it's looking really good. I think I'm just going to move it down. It's being absolutely gorge. Okay, so now we're going to start making the sandwich. And we've got all the classic elements of a great club. I've got some nice thin shaved or sliced ham. I've got some great looking turkey. Just pick this up from the deli. Actually, I'm going to kind of squish them up here. And then I've got some bacon. It's probably one of my favorite parts about the club. Lots of bacon in here. Oh, what the heck, we'll put another piece. And then we're going to do some cheese. Now, normally you don't find cheese on the classic club sandwich, but I thought, well, what the heck. I love cheese, and it's going to be a warm, ooey-gooey sandwich, so why not do a little bit of shredded cheddar cheese? Or you could do Swiss. Doesn't need a whole ton. That looks perfect. Then for the tomato, I don't want this to get soggy, so I'm just going to do a seeded and diced Roma tomato. You could do slices as well, but we're just going to do a small dice on these so that if you get a piece, you've just got some little bits of tomato in there. If you don't like tomato, you could certainly leave it out. I like the works on my club. We're talking about lunch on today's show, and we do have some really fun lunch recipes. We're going to do a Maine lobster roll. Yeah, you don't have to go to Maine to get this one. We're going to do some soups and some fun salad. But this recipe is actually would be really nice for dinner, just even a quick weeknight dinner. I think a nice warm sandwich really can hit the spot, especially this winter. So we're going to spread out our tomatoes. And last but not least, I thought this would be nice to have a little bit of a nice onion flavor without putting big hunks of onion in it. So I've got some scallions that I'm just going to chop up. If you don't like scallions, you can leave them out. Not a big deal. My hubby Bob doesn't like it when there's like big pieces of onion in his sandwich, but he does like scallions. So that's a way to kind of get that onion flavor in there without him getting too upset about it. Okay, so I'm going to melt a little bit of butter that's going to go on this bread. And I'm going to make this really easy. You could certainly like kind of jelly roll it, or you can just kind of fold it in half. Depends how your bread dough, how easy it is to work with. This seems to be working really nicely for me, so I went for it, and I did the whole jelly roll style, and it's just going to be really pretty when you slice it, but it's going to taste great no matter what. Okay, so I'm just going to finish the top. So you saw I just kind of rolled it up and tucked the ends under. Got a little bit of melted butter that I like to you can just brush it on or just spoon it on over the top, pour it on, just to give that bread dough a little bit. It's going to give it some nice color, brown it up a little bit. And then either some dried parsley or dried Italian seasoning just to kind of flavor up that bread a little bit. This goes into the oven, bakes until the crust gets nice and golden and all the stuff in the inside gets nice and melty and ooey and gooey. And then I like to just serve this. This is great with just some fresh fruit or maybe a nice little light side salad. Works out perfectly with this, but it really is delicious. It's also nice to do for a brunch. If you don't want to do eggs, isn't it pretty? It really is great, and it's stuffed with all those wonderful fillings that are in a club sandwich. So let me cut it open, and this is how normally I serve it, is just like in pieces. Oh, I'd wait, I'm cutting it right away, but if you're going to do this at home, kind of like lasagna, let it rest for maybe just a few minutes. It'll still be nice and warm, but so that all the filling just doesn't slide right out. But I just wanted to give you a peek at the inside of this with the cheese and the tomatoes and the ham and the bacon and the turkey. And oh, it's just delicious. And it's one of those warm sandwiches that you just serve in like 2 to 3 inch strips, and everyone will love it. Trust me. So great for a get together too, if you're having the ladies over for a party, or just after work for a little get together. This would actually, I think, really hit the spot. Nice big batch of my homemade tomato soup, and you're good to go. We'll put the recipe on our website. Coming up, some more recipes and ideas for lunch. We are headed on a road trip. No, we're not going out to Maine, but we did find a lobster roll about an hour away, and this is worth the drive. Have you ever had a lobster roll, lobster salad, in a delicious buttery roll? We're also making a couple different salads, a fennel slaw, a spinach salad, and some lot more ideas too. We're also making sushi for lunch, and we're going to tell you about a neat event going on. So stick around, we'll be back. More lunchtime ideas coming up.